about new generation hip hop artists, rappers and producers, and it seems to me, after looking at Metro Boomin's post, I'm sure he's like on a jet with some chips. That's something I aspire to do with my life.
Right.
And he was saying how basically he's done, but I don't think he's done like I think people are meaning he's done, because he's talking about he's going to retire. I personally think it's retired from making the standard rap records and doing some other brand of production. However, what I do notice about a lot of the younger people in the game right now is that they're always in a rush to say they quit, they retire, they've had enough, I'm going to move on and do something else. I want to know y'all theories, hypotheses, or just direct answers as to why that might be happening.
I think that the game will quickly replace you. So I think whether you're talking, I used to say this to my youngest daughter's mom, especially around the time that I met her, like 2009 up until today. Like you kind of see like the hot producer of the moment, and they kill the game. And I literally can go back to, and I always forget dude's name, the guy that did Hard in the Paint.
Lex Luger.
Lex Luger. All right, so this is my Mike Love. I had a hot run, and then the game replaced me. Conversation that I have with my daughter's mom. So first it was Lex Luger around that time, 2009-ish, 2010. He was killing the game. Then it was Mike Will Made It, who still continues to pop his head in and out. Like he refuses to not. DJ Mustard, you know what I'm saying? Then Metro Boomin, and then you got like, your little other cats popping in here and there.
London on the
track.
track.
Right. You got those cats, but I'm talking about like the cats that are doing tracks for Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like that, to me, like that's when you've graduated to the next level of production. And Mike Will, I think, is one of the guys that did stuff like that. And like I remember he was killing the game. Like every damn song was on the radio was a Mike Will Made It song. You know what I'm saying? Like for that hot minute, everything he was doing. And then it seemed like, because I pay attention to these kind of things, it seemed he was about to drop his album the first time, and it never came out. And I was like, the game is trying to push him out and trying to pull some new. They did it with the Neptunes, except Pharrell was like, you're not going to push me out. I'm going to use my connections with artists, my actual relationships, and the fact that he is like one of the coolest down there, just good people. At the end of the day, your A&R will be like, don't fuck a fucking Pharrell track in 2012. Are you fucking kidding? Before Happy. So between the Neptunes and before Happy, when everybody jumped back on the Pharrell dick, I'm sure there are plenty of A&Rs going, if you don't get the fuck out of here with a Pharrell track, fam. So I think that's what happens in the game. The industry marginalizes these producers. It gets as much out of them as it can. Look at Mustard. Mustard was killing the radio. Mustard on a beat, ho. And it was great for DJs because we finally got to play some up-tempo songs. I love that. But now he's got a song on Cardi's album, obviously, because at the beginning of the song it says Mustard on the beat, ho, very slowly. So it's good. So I like to see that. But I think what Metro is seeing is that he's preparing himself for being that guy and then the game going, and now we're getting ready to move. So you gotta kind of either be on some Mike Will shit because to me, what saved his career is Ray Shrimmer, because the Ray Shrimmer thing ended up in the Beyonce lane. You know what I'm saying? So him bringing on Ray Shrimmer, like his run was just about. I was like, they getting ready to push Mike Will out of the game. And then Ray Shrimmer came, and then the main guy was
Sway Lee.
Sway Lee was writing for other motherfuckers, and that kept his whole thing. And then that album finally did come out. So that's my take on it. Is that there are always hot producers. Now there are always some cats that are just kind of mid-range. You know what I'm saying? That never like made it to a Metro Boomin like I'm doing everybody. Like I can't think of all their names. Like
Jalil Beats.
There's a lot of cats that have just kind of, been doing beats forever. You know what I'm saying? It's almost kind of best to just kind of be flying under the radar, to not really blow on that level, because once you make it to the top, eventually people are going to be like, all right, we good with that.
Right. You're like, I'm good on that.
So you don't necessarily want to be the hot producer of the moment.
I don't think so because the anything of the moment is always going to be hot for the moment, and then there's going to be a new sound. So the game itself just replays. It's just like with anything. It's whether you're talking radio or life.
Okay.
Like I always say, be Fab, don't be Jay. Because Fab or Avant. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like you always want to be just bubbling under, like you said in the show last week. Like Fab has had this 20-year career that you know about. You know what I'm saying? 20 years of just being just good enough.
Right. I got one.
I got a radio joint. I got like Fab's last radio joint. Whatever it doesn't matter. The point is he has kept himself in your mind, in the back of your mind, for 20 years.
Yeah, and it's always a pleasure to see him. It's like, oh shit, Fab on it.
Right.
Okay,
Let me give it a listen because he's gonna come with the best that he can come. So
he never gets stale.
I think it's best to be at that level and just maintain than to blow like Jay or Drake or Wayne and just have to. Or anybody and have to because you have to stay, you have to maintain that, and there's absolutely no way you can do that. You can't. You can't. There's no. That's why I always say people have peaked. You got your hot take about the Carter. Is it 5? That's the one that's supposed to come out.
Yeah, Carter 5.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one that's supposed to come out, but it's never coming out.
It's never coming out.
And you're going to. I know. I already know. I know your take. It's a great take. It's a great hot take. But my thing is, it doesn't matter whether it comes out or not because Wayne is over. The Wayne that we knew is over. Yeah. The Nicki we knew is over. Like they've all had their great time. Now we just live in an era where social media keeps you alive, and the fact that you can keep jumping on people's songs and stay relevant and stay out there and punch a chick in the face, and we're talking about you.
Yeah. Man. Violence, let's get it.
Sorry to end on that note. My bad. I should have cleaned it up.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah, so just wrapping it all up, man. I think the game will replace you, and I think that it's good that Metro Boomin is deciding that he wants to go in another direction with it because he understands that being the hot guy, you're only going to be the hot guy for so long.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Mike Love summed that up perfectly because as he was speaking, I was thinking of all of the hot producers from any era. Like you had Just Blaze, and then you had like the Heat Makers. The Heat Makers is the fuck up out of here. Just Blaze eventually had to do something else. Even Kanye couldn't be the hot producer forever. He had to be Kanye. He had to rhyme. Swizz Beatz, same thing. Swizz Beatz was the hot producer for a minute. Then he had to start switching it up and doing other shit. So it's like, I really can't add nothing else to it. That's real. You eventually have to like switch your game up a little bit as a producer.
Yeah, old man perspective is always, and that's what I'm saying. Like I'm a timeline guy, so that's where I started from 2009 and brought it up to today. And you can go back to the old days, and that is the consistent. Karis once said in the 90s. You ever think about when you're out of here? The game, there is going to be a time, and people don't realize this, that there is going to be a time when you're just, it's like Jeezy's just not that hot anymore.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 2 Chainz is just not that hot anymore. There's nothing he can do about it because our minds have moved on to something else. You know what I'm saying? Our attentions have moved on. Chainz is really pretty consistently doing somewhat of the same thing he's been doing.
Right.
But it's that our attention spans have moved on to other things. So it's no fault of his.
Yeah, no.
You know,
it's kind of like being burned in a sense. The first time you get burned, it's like, oh, that was the worst pain ever in fucking life. But then, like, as you continue to cook and you just, like, get your hand on there, touch the same pot the same way, but you're like, oh, shit. Let me get this mitten real quick. Let's get this off.
And you keep it moving.
And you'll never get a chance to get that feeling of, oh my God, my life has been altered by this moment, this song, this album that came out.